So now we can look at an example when we have to factor trinomials. The thing we mentioned before is you want to always look at the number in front of x squared and the last number and multiply them together. So AC, when I multiply them together, 1 times 20 is 20, and my B is going to be 9. So we need to think of two factors that multiply to 20 and add up to 9. So I can think of all the factors of 20. 1 and 20, that doesn't work. 2 and 10 doesn't work. 4 and 5 does though. So my factors are 4 and 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break 9x up into 4x plus 5x. And so then my x squared is right here, and my 20 is right here as well. So I look at them in two different cases, and I put parentheses around them. So what can I take out of x squared plus 4x? I can take an x out. What can I take out of a positive 5x and 20? I can take a positive 5 out, and I get x plus 4. Now the thing you'll notice right away is that in the parentheses, I have x plus 4 and x plus 4. It's the same thing, and that's what we're going for, because then we can actually write it like this. We can say, okay, well now we have x plus 5 times x plus 4. And so now what we've done is we've broken it up, we've factored it into two binomials. And so the zero product property says that either x plus 5 equals 0 or x plus 4 equals 0. So we write them both. X plus 5 equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0. And we solve for x in both cases. And so x could be negative 5, or x could be negative 4. So this one actually has two solutions, and that would be negative 5 and negative 4. Let's look at a different example. Now you'll notice in this one, A is not 1, it's 6, and our C is 20. So 6 times 20 is going to be 120. And then we have B is negative 23. Now here's a hint from after doing enough of these problems. It's that you'll notice that when our AC is positive and our B is negative, it means that both of our factors are going to be negative. Okay? So we think of all the factors of 120. Well, 1 in 120 doesn't work, 2 in 60 does not work, 3 in 40 doesn't work, and so on and so forth. Eventually what we can do is we can check to see all the factors of 20, or 120. And so if I divide it by 15, I actually get 8. So, since we want it to be positive, it should be negative 15 and negative 8. And so, when you add negative 15 and negative 8, it adds up to negative 23. So, I'm going to rewrite negative 23 as minus 15y, and I'm going to write it as negative 8y. And so, I have 6y squared, and then plus 20 at the end. I break them up into separate parentheses. And 6y squared minus 15y, I can take a 3y out of everything. I'm left with 2y minus 5. And then over here, you'll notice that I have minus 8y plus 20. Well, I can take a negative 4 out of both of them. That way, negative 8y divided by negative 4 is a positive 2y. And positive 20 divided by negative 4 is plus 5. Or excuse me, minus 5. And that still equals 0. So now I can rewrite the factored form as 3y minus 4 times 2y minus 5. Okay? Zero product property says that either 4y minus 4 equals 0 or 2y minus 5 equals 0. So we write them both. Okay. 4, and so you get 3y equals 4 divided by 3. Okay, so y could equal 4/3. Add 5. So 2y equals 5 divided by 2. And so y could equal 5/2. So my two solutions would be 4/3 and 5/2. Here's a couple guided practice problems you can try as well. Now, a word problem. It says the height of a javelin in feet is modeled by the equation h of t is equal to negative 16t squared plus 79t plus 5, where t is the time in seconds after it is thrown. How long is it in the air? So we're trying to see the total time it's going to be in the air. So I solved this the same way I did before. I look at my a times c. So negative 16 times 5 is going to be negative 8. So my AC is going to be negative 8. And my B then is going to be 79. Okay? Here's another hint after doing enough of these problems in our life is that we see negative 80 and 79, they're only one away from each other. So that means you're going to use the factor that has 1. So since we have a negative 80 and a positive 79, our factors are going to be positive 81, or excuse me, positive 80, and then negative 1. Because if you add those together, it's 79. You multiply them, it's going to be negative 80. So I rewrite the middle term using 80 and negative 1. So I'm going to do negative 16 t squared minus 1t plus 80t plus 5. Now it doesn't matter the order in which you do this, but what I like to do is I like to, if it's possible, keep the negatives together and the positives together. But it doesn't matter, you'll get the same answer either way. So what I can take out of both negative 16t squared and a negative 1t is a negative t. And so I'm left with 16t plus 1. And I look at 80t plus 5. And I can take a positive 5 out. And so I get 16t plus 1. And you'll notice it's the same thing here and here, which means we factored it correctly. So we get negative t plus 5 times 16t plus 1 equals 0. Zero product property says that either the first one is equal to 0 or the second one is equal to 0, or both. So negative t plus 5 equals 0, and 16t plus 1 equals 0. So I solve for t. So negative t is equal to negative 5, which means my time could either be 5 seconds or 16t is equal to negative 1 divided by 16 divided by 16, and we get t equals negative 1/16. So we have two possible solutions. And now what we do is we can actually get rid of our solution that doesn't make sense. Now, if you throw a javelin, it's not in the air for a negative amount of time. So the only answer that makes sense is 5 seconds. How long is this javelin in the air? It's in the air for 5 seconds. Here's an example that you can try as well.